بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أما بعد أحبتي في الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam said, and this is in regards to Ramadan, which we will be entering bi'idhnillah ta'ala soon. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when Ramadan begins, the gates of heaven are open, and the gates of Jahannam are closed, and the shayateen are chained. This hadith collected in Bukhari, in other narrations, in other hadith collections. Ahabati fillah, also in Muslim, in Nisa'i wa Ahmed. So, Hafiz ibn Hajar, rahmatullahi alayhi, rahmatin wasiya, the explainer of Fath al-Bari, or the author of Fath al-Bari, the explanation, one of the most authentic or the best explanation of Sahih al-Bukhari, he mentions this hadith, it has several possibilities. The shayateen are those who eavesdrop on the revelation, and they are chained during the nights of Ramadan, not during the days, as they were forbidden from eavesdropping at the time of the Quran's revelation. So they were trained to further protect it. Another possibility, so that's the first possibility that Hafiz ibn Hajar is mentioning. It says another possibility is that the shayateen are not as determined to tempt the Muslims during Ramadan as they are in the other months. This is because they are busy fasting. This is because the Muslims are busy fasting, which suppresses the desires, reciting the Quran, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making dhikr of Allah azza wa jal. And so this is also, it actually harms and restricts the shayateen. Also, others have said, meaning other ulama sunnah, have said that this refers to some of the shayateen, the evil ones amongst them. And later, Hafiz ibn Hajar, he cites Al-Qadi Iyad, rahmatullahi alayhi. He says, it is possible that this refers to the abundance of reward and forgiveness during Ramadan, and that the temptation of the shayateen decreases, so it is as if they are locked up. And what supports the second view is the Prophet ﷺ's statement in the narration of Yunus on the authority of Ibn Shihab in Sahih Muslim, that the gates of mercy are opened. Perhaps the opening of the gates of paradise means that Allah has facilitated acts of obedience for His worshippers, which cause them to enter paradise, whereas the closing of the gates of the hellfire means a diversion from the desire to commit sins, which leads the sinner to the hellfire. As for the chaining of the devils, this refers to their inability to attempt and beautify desires. Al-Hafiz, he also quotes Imam al-Qurtubi, rahmatullahi alayhi, rahmatin wasi'ah, where he says, one may ask, why do we see so much evil and sin happen during Ramadan? Since the shayateen are chained, why does this still occur? The answer is that few of those who fast do so in a proper fashion, meaning so many people compromise. They look at the haram, they taste the haram, they touch the haram, they speak the haram. So he says the answer is that few of those who fast do so in a proper fashion, or that refers to some, not all of the shayateen, specifically the evil ones among them, as mentioned in several narrations, or that it refers to a reduction in evil during the holy month of Ramadan. And this is also something which we can perceive. For evil occurs less during Ramadan than at any other time, yet the chaining of all the devils would not necessarily eliminate evil and sin, as there are other reasons for this, like evil natures, wicked customs, and the shayateen from amongst humans. Others have said that the chaining of shayateen amongst during Ramadan removes a person's excuse. It is as if it is said to him, the shayateen have been restrained, so do not use them as an excuse when abandoning acts of obedience or committing acts of disobedience. Also, Imam an-Nawawi, rahmatullahi alayhi, he has two different interpretations regarding this narration from Al-Qadi Iyad. He says first that the narration has a literal meaning, and the opening of the gates of paradise and the closing of the gates of the hellfire and the chaining of the devils are from the signs of Ramadan. As for the chaining of the devils, he says this is to prevent them from harming and tempting the believers. The second interpretation is that the narration has a figurative, meaning it's symbolic or it's figurative, meaning referring to the great reward and forgiveness of Ramadan. So this lets us know that the scholars of have different interpretation of this hadith, and some of the scholars they mention, as we've already previous mentioned, and this is the view that I hold, as some of my scholars hold this view, that it is the major shayateen are chained, whereas there are lesser devils from amongst mankind and jinn that remain unchained, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.